Hello there, Internet. Mogwai here, and it is my birthday. Today I turned 30. Anyways, we are going to be playing some vampires today because as I say goodbye to my 20s, I do feel a little bit emo inside me right now, not gonna lie. So I felt like Orzhov Vampires was a good archetype choice for today's date, at least, you know, for what it means to me. Orzhov Vampires is a very cool, very strong archetype in current standard MTG, and one that I really haven't gotten back on after the video that I made. It was actually like the second video after Coreset 2020 was released. I played a homebrewed vampire deck, and I remember back in those days, like the first week upon release of the new Coreset, people were saying that vampires were just a disappointment. They weren't good. They weren't working out. They weren't powerful, and they, you know, we're all hyped up, but didn't really live up to anything. And it turns out, as time passed, Orzhov Vampires are pretty damn good. They are amongst, I think they're, right now, it's like the second most popular deck in Standard. And it is a very strong one at that. And if you compare this to the likes of Mono White Aggro, I will take Vampires any day. So much more interesting and so much more fun to play. And all of this is thanks to Sorin Imperious Bloodlord, a 3-mana planeswalker that I'm a big fan of for similar reasons. When you compare this to the likes of Chandra, Acolyte of Flame, even though Chandra, Acolyte of Flame is more flexible and more, you know, she supports different strategies in different ways. Sorin is kind of limited to the Vampire tribe. Having that said, Sorin has, like Chandra, 3 very distinct loyalty abilities. 2+1s that do 2 very different things. One of them enable you to put a +1/+1 counter on a vampire and push for damage and health gain that turn. The other one gives you reach. It actually gives Orzhov direct damage potential, which is something that it's been lacking for quite some time. And the -3, which is one of the main reasons Sorin can be so powerful, as it enables us to play the likes of Champion of Dusk, Bona, or even Sanctum Seeker, 5-drops or 4-drops with very high impact on turn 3, which kind of like rivals the power of a turn 3 Nissa from green focused decks, and is one of the main reasons why vampires have risen up the ranks. Very, very fun archetype that is rather straightforward in regards to gameplay. Like, you just play vampires on curve and you try to overwhelm your opponent with your synergies and your board presence that is very spread out. We are weak to board wipes, but thanks to cards like Knight of the Ebon Legion and Add Until Vanguard, we have some nice resilience and late game build-up potential from a 1-drop as well. Knight of the Ebon Legion can rather quickly basically escape Cry the Carnarium range, as he gets a +1/+1 counter at the end step if you lost 4 life or more that turn, or your opponent. If you are not able to deal 4 life damage, you can still trigger the 4 life proc from Add Until Vanguard and thus get it going. He also has the ability to buff himself up by 3 attack and 3 toughness for 3 mana while gaining Death Touch as well, which makes him very useful potentially in the late game when you are to a certain degree flooded, and overall is just everything a 1-drop wants to be, really. Like, Knight of the Ebon Legion is an exceptional 1-drop that can also fit potentially in Knight decks, which is something that I want to dwell into as well. I want to try some Orzhov Knights too, because that definitely has not really you know, risen to popularity as much as this archetype right here. And this is the list here. We have the main board, which is pretty straightforward, and then we have the sideboard with triple Dress, triple Tocatli Honor Guard, triple Noxious Grasp, 2 Desparks, 2 Plague Mares, and 2 Mortifies. The Plague Mares are there because of the fact that this deck doesn't really feel comfortable running the likes of Ritual of Soot or Cry the Carnarium, since it does hit our board as well. So Plague Mare gives us a bit of a weaker AoE effect that is on a stick and doesn't hit us. Therefore, we can still apply our Swarmy Pressure, but have a bit of you know, a good resource, a good answer AoE trigger against opposing creature-based Swarmy tactics. And big fan of the sideboard. I'm always a big fan of Tocatli Honor Guard. The more I play with Noxious Grasp, the more I think this is a staple for any sort of black-focused deck in regards to the sideboard. And it feels pretty flexible in that sense. This is not my deck. This is pretty much the standard version of this build. And I wanted to go off with this for today. I've had a bit of a hectic week. You know, we got our doggo, which hopefully I can show you guys at the end of this video. Hachiko, the corgi. We went all the way to Madrid to pick him up, which took all day yesterday for me. And on top of that, my brother's coming to visit for my birthday, and my parents will be arriving tomorrow. And there's been a lot of stuff that I've been needed to like get sorted out, like my taxes and stuff. It's been like super hectic. Therefore, you know, we haven't been the most consistent, but I do want to get a video out for today. And I, you know, thought to myself, what haven't I not showcased off, and what is a fitting deck for today? And I was like, you know what, emo vampires. Let's go with that. So, without further ado, let's put on my new headphones. I got a new pair, and I cannot hear myself as well as with the other ones. But the problem with the other headphones, they're like somewhere around here, is that they are... Okay, the volume is good. They're like basically falling apart. Like they leave like little crummy black pieces all over my ears, and I needed to get new ones basically because they were actually like literally falling to pieces. So yeah, I gotta get used to these ones. I can barely hear myself talking, which means I probably upped my voice as I put them on. But at least it didn't mess up with my intro as much. So let's go ahead and let's be emo. For it is our birthday. And yeah, thank you guys for supporting the channel. It feels really special to, you know, reach this age, I guess, having put all these years into YouTube and see the channel just grow so flourishly. I can't really English at this point, but I just basically want to say that I really appreciate the support, and that it's been doing great, and I'm super grateful. So we're gonna mulligan this, and I would assume we mulligan again because for some reason we cannot find a second land. So as of right now, we have one Legion's Landing, a Untitled Vanguard, and Legion Lieutenant alongside the Sanctum Seeker. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Sanctum Seeker because I do have a lot of 5 drops already. And I'm going to go with the immediate here. And what I mean by the immediate is I'm going to make sure that I can actually play out the early stages of the game. I'm at 94%. Really? I must have decayed a lot. What was I playing last? My last video was... doesn't make much... I haven't played in like the last few days, right? But that's still... Alright, Vicious Conquistador. Ole! The Spanish vampire making his debut for us, you know, fitting, as we seem to be facing Esper. And turn 2 Thought Erasure. Can't go without that when you're facing Esper, as Untitled Vanguard hits the dust, which may mean he doesn't have Cry the Carnarium. I would like to do many things, but unfortunately I can't really double 2-drop here because of my mana base right now. So I'm gonna drop this Legion Lieutenant. And I'm going to Vicious Conquistador here because this represents the most damage. And at this point, we're going to go for that. You could still have Cry the Carnarium and still just go for the Untitled Vanguard, but it seems like that's not the case. Alright, so what I'm going to do... I'm actually thinking of offering up the trade, but I'm not gonna. I'm just going to go with this. And I'm going to drop a Sky Marcher Aspirant because I want to surprise him with a Legion's Landing, even though he's already seen it in my hand. But I'd rather establish a little bit more, you know, heavy board presence. We're running out of steam, though. Our opponent is looking pretty healthy, and unless he really doesn't have enough resources to deal with me here, we are in a bit of trouble because we have to mulligan twice, and unfortunately, now is when he starts getting the best of us.
This isn't a fight you can win.
I would assume Legion Lieutenant is going to be bounced back.
Let's try this.
And I really think I need to... Okay, that's decent. Unfortunately, that's not really what we want. Like, we're running low on white mana, which is a bit of an issue here. But we still want to go Legion Lieutenant. I do want to get rid of Teferi, and I do want to go face of this.
Now what?
Drop the swamp and call that a turn. He knows the Legion's Landing is in our hand, but I don't want to leave Teferi Time Raveler on the board and have him surprise me with like a sorcery speed, an instant speed Kaya's Wrath, for example. Okay, see, that's good. We are going to attempt to Legion's Landing here. We could see a Mortify onto the Legion's Landing. Alright. We are but one permanent away from being able to fly over him, so we are going to attempt to... We're in top deck mode now, basically, but as long as we top deck, you know, a permanent, which we should, we will be able to fly over him, but unfortunately he has drawn into an Elite Guard Mage. So I would love to draw into Sorin, I believe. Sorin would be a good top deck here. Though, this is probably better. And I will attack with all these to trigger the Legion's Landing, which means I will be attacking with the Conquistador as well. I mean, I'll be attacking with everything, honestly. Like, why not? Yeah. Legion Lieutenant was actually a pretty damn good top deck there. Okay, I'll trade with 2 of those. Question is, nah, you won't sacrifice that. Getting the Adento first fort is very, very important, as you know, it'll make us less susceptible to top decks. We have a flyer here. He does have to ferry though. He's getting like a
Right on schedule.
A heavy amount of board presence here, which is very, very spooky. But at the same time, because of the fact that we have Sorin, if we put him at 3 health, I could trade with this, but I'd rather not. I could attack the ferry, but I think I'd rather just get damage on him. We can still generate, you know, vampires here.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
And all I need is to put him at range. Ah, that sucks. Oh. Sorin is still good here. I mean, it's decent. I'm gonna trade it with one of the heroes, because I need to stop this engine. I legitimately need to. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, right? Yep. So this means I can do that and at the Adento Vanguard here. If I attack with this, he double blocks and I lose all my presence. I gotta, like, if I attack with Sky Marcher into this, that just feels bad as well. I guess I just gotta hold on a little bit here. We are losing, like, the little momentum we had. Like, these Elite Guard Mages are really slowing us down. But, I mean, we had to mulligan twice, so we were already at a bit of a disadvantage to begin with. And we could very easily go down here.
I am not going to sit this one out.
And this asshole is going to whoop my ass on my birthday, which makes me cry every damn time. Alright, he's going to go for the -3 on 2. I'm surprised he goes for the Vanguard instead of the Legion Lieutenant. That must mean he has some sort of removal for the Lieutenant. Okay, he has Thought Erasure. Alright, so the question is this like, can we bring this back? I don't think so at this point. I think we're too far behind. Especially because he can bounce and he has card draw. He has superior board presence. He has everything going on for him, so I think it's just important to acknowledge that, you know, it's over. And Plague Mare is interesting, but I'm just gonna go with the Noxious Grasp and I believe the Duresses. I'm gonna keep the Adento Vanguard in there. I like Gideon Blackblade here as well. What don't I like? I guess I reduced the amount of 1-drops a little bit. I can take out the Vicious Conquistador here, because he doesn't, I mean, he's not, he threatens Still gonna take him out. I'll take out a Sanctum Seeker as well. I'm gonna just lower my curve a bit. History of Benalia can be very, very threatening, especially if we're going first. We obviously need the Adento Vanguard. Legion Lieutenant isn't bad either. Maybe 2 Duresses is enough, considering we're playing Noxious Grasp as well. I like Gideon when going first, honestly. Gideon applies a lot of pressure. And I don't want to drop my late game bombs as well. Because, you know, maybe I could drop Vona. Maybe I'm going to drop Vona. Because I need early game pressure anyways. I mean, Vona's not terrible in a control matchup by any means, but I feel like when I'm going first, I need to make sure I can capitalize on my opponent, and this hand speaks to me. Obviously, I am lacking a second source of white mana, which makes this History of Benalia, you know, it could be a disappointment. But turn 1 Knight of the Ebon Legion, turn 2 Legion Lieutenant, no mulligans is like, wow, you know. I have an answer for Hero Priest in 1 as well. I don't want to bring in, I really do not want to bring in the Plague Mare for this matchup, though. I really don't think that's, you know, the right thing to do against a deck like Esper, because they can even sideboard out Hero Priest in 1 and just board in Cries and Kaya's Wrath. I'm gonna go double Knight. Because if he doesn't Thought Erasure me on curve here, I can drop the Legion Lieutenant. And even if he does, I can still like buff one of these two and then buff them both. So if he does Thought Erasure here, I'm actually fine with this. But it seems like he has a Tyrant Scorn instead, which makes me want to go for Benalia here. It makes me want to go for Benalia. The problem with Benalia is that I play into a Cry of the Carnarium, which can be really... that would suck. But he definitely has a... like, I can't really stop the Cry of the Carnarium. I'm going to go Benalia. Probably should have attacked first. Definitely should have attacked first. He takes the hit anyways. That could mean he has a Cry of the Carnarium. If he has a Cry, he should go for it now. I mean, a Cry wins in the game anyways, because I'm banking all this on this. And I can't really afford to play around the Cry, because Kaya's Wrath is just as likely, and then hits me just as hard. Yeah. It is what it is. That's one of the things about this deck. That's one of the things. We just kind of like get nuked by this.
Trust me, you'll thank me later.
At this point, we just lose the game. Like,
That's more like
I could have played the Legion Lieutenant, but I'm pretty sure the man had... He could Thought Erasure here, but I think I'd rather just Teferi that. Noxious Grasp this.
hardly my worst defeat.
And just smack him for 4. And now we're pretty much at the mercy of our top decks. That Cry just like made us cry every time. But what are you gonna do? What you gonna do when the Cry comes for you? I mean, Champion of Dusk is as good of a draw as I'm gonna get at this stage. That's
Longer. Stand by and watch.
really annoying.
I'll protect you.
That's very annoying. Well, if I can top deck into
Trust me, I have a plan.
into a non-land card here, we are in a bit of a pickle here. If that's an, I sort of got it. If that's like another, oh my god, it's a Thought Erasure. Oh. He keeps that on top. And fortunately, you know, he got the best of us. Like, the thing is about like the Esper matchup, it's just basically about being able to apply enough pressure. Problem is, Soren is a pretty dead card now. Like,
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
the fact that he drew another Teferi Time Raveler to pair with that at the same time is definitely... I mean, I may as well work for 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. If I draw into another land, at least I can trigger the City's Blessing.
Don't worry, I got it.
And that's something, but he's getting his value back.
I know 88 ways to hone your prowess.
And yeah, I'm spending my birthday versus Teferi and Narset. What a wonderful day. Took a bit of a break from Magic and come back to this, and it's like, okay, sometimes, you know, it kind of reminds you why sometimes taking a break is nice.
Put thoughtfulness before action.
I'm not giving up until you actually get a win condition after this.
I've got it.
He could have a removal tool for this. If he does, what's the difference between? There's no difference. I could try to get an attack off on him though. Like, what do I have that's gonna draw me cards? The Champion of Dusk.
Defeating you will not bring me pleasure. No pain. I've got time.
I mean, this game is pretty lost, but I'm kind of encouraged to at least drag it out a little bit, just because of the fact that this guy, yeah, keeps spamming the GG. He's probably like really like trying to get out of this rank.
There was nothing.
So I'm gonna return the favor of, like, you know, premature GGing, and I'm just gonna make him have to work for it. You know what? Scratch that. I'm going home. I got things to do. I'm actually going, you know, to hang out with people in my birthday and stuff. So, yeah. Scratch that. You can have your win, buddy. You earned it. How many lives was that in a row? Oh my god. Alright, so game 1 against Esper. Rather underwhelming. What you gonna do though? It was 26 minutes. But I lost 2-0 though, didn't I? Seemed like it took longer than it should have. Alrighty, so game 2. Like I said, the matchup against Esper, it really comes down to that. It comes down to if you can play around the board wipes. If they have the board wipes, then it can be pretty rough. Because unlike mono red aggro, Orzhov Vampires requires a board presence to push damage. So it's pretty simple stuff, really. Like, you either keep your board or you don't. Hopefully, we run into something else besides, you know, Teferi and Narset. That would be nice. Let's keep this. Oh boy. Why do I open my mouth? Okay. Grixis. Still a control deck. Still annoying because they still have, you know, board wipes and such. I'm gonna go with the Untitled Vanguard. And I'm going to hope for a third land. The third land is fantastic with this Champion of Dusk here. Though Thought Erasure and Cry of the Carnarium are a possible thing. Narset, while annoying to see, can definitely be dealt with. And I guess it's pretty much, we're sticking with Vanguard for now. We're knocking her out.
This was overwhelming.
Alright. There we go. I think it's a good time to play Soren here.
I drink only the finest, and you smell well aged. I guess you'll do.
Yeah. That just feels good. One of the things about Grixis, you know, which makes it a little bit more bearable over Esper, is that they rely on the likes of Ritual Usut as their, you know, big board wipe. I was gonna say unconditional, but that's not true. It's conditional. That's why it's inferior to Kaya's Wrath, meaning that it won't hit Champion of Dusk, and in this case, I will be paying my life total for it to protect the Untitled Vanguards. Next turn, I can play Legion Lieutenant and go for a big boy smack. What could this be? This can't be Dragon God. He needs one more source of black mana. All right. Okay. So the beautiful thing about this is that Vanguard still push through. I'm gonna go with the Isolated Chapel. Though I don't know if there was a reason to. Yeah, no, because I am gonna flip. No, I'm not gonna flip Legion's Landing. So actually, I should have went for the Godless Shrine there, I think. Because I'm probably better off going with this into Ebon Legion. I could also sacrifice something for this, but I think we're better off doing this. Let's get Legion Lieutenant in there. Should we go Knight or should we go Untitled Vanguard?
I bestow a mighty curse.
Let's smack him. Let's get your boy the Legion. Legion boy. Now, what I don't understand is why this man did not mill himself with Enter the God Eternals, because that would enable him to flip over a Scanta this turn. Ooh.
I need some kindling, and you look flammable enough.
I mean, I'm taking it, baby.
Get out of my way.
I'm taking it.
Don't.
Obviously we're gonna kill Chandra this turn. We're also going to be playing. I can kill Chandra with the other one. So I'm gonna give another one of these buffs to this one.
It's but a taste of my power.
Because I can finish off Chandra with this, and I can use this one to smack him in the face. And I just realized I missed lethal.
I kind of crashed and burned here.
We kind of did. Right? That was 5. Yeah, that was like, well, that was yeah, that was totally miss lethal. Because this would have been 5 damage, 8 damage to face. Yeah, like, don't do that at home, kids. Don't miss lethal like I did. Don't do it, please. We both made key misplays. Yeah, I just honestly, like, I'm just not as used to playing Soren because I haven't done so ever since like the beginning of the set release. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use that as an excuse, because I should have finished my opponent that turn. I should have gone for the second ability, and I should have you know, killed him. I was too fixated. I didn't realize he was like that low. Basically, I didn't fixate on his health total. I focused on clearing the board and establishing, you know, the winnable board presence for next turn, and I didn't take into account how much health he had, which is a very important thing to do when you're playing Magic the Gathering. You know, you should keep in mind what your opponent is at, so, because if you can kill them, then you don't have to do what I did. The more you know. He tapped all of his red sources of mana. Interesting. Well, fish is not going to cut it. Alright, so this is a Grixis control deck, which means we definitely want the dresses. We don't necessarily want the Noxious Grasp. In fact, we don't want them at all. D-Spark is interesting, though. D-Spark can deal with Ravager. D-Spark can deal with a lot of things. So I'm going to run D-Spark, yeah. Mortify, I'm not so sure. If we run this, I like Gideon against control decks in general. Like I've stated numerous times, I also like History of Benalia. I do like Vona here. Especially because 5-drops and 4-drops as well are very powerful versus Grixis because they can't really board wipe them. Though, they're still vulnerable to Enter the God Eternal, that's for sure. I take out 5 cards, though. Since I'm slapping in all these dresses, I would assume I would need to take out... I mean, Vicious Conquistador puts in quite a bit of work, but I mean, these tend to be better. So I'm going to take out the Conquistadors for the dresses. Basically, I'm taking out three 1-drops for the dresses is what I'm doing. Then I need to take out 2 cards for the D-Sparks, which I would assume would be... I mean, I kind of like... I'm just going to run 1 D-Spark, I think. I can take out Vona. I can take out Vona, and what else can I take out here? Yeah, I'm gonna run 1 D-Spark, because I like everything else, honestly. Like, I need D-Spark for what? For Nicol Bolas Ravager, Nicol Bolas Dragon God, and potentially Chandra as well. But I can also technically take those out, you know, via sheer force. So, we got like, Add-on Vanguard is incredibly important in this matchup, obviously. We also have to play around board wipes. Like, not only Cry the Carnarium and Ritual of Soot, but also Chandra's -3. So, if we're put in a position in which we can choose between committing or, you know, overcommitting or not, then we don't overcommit, naturally. And this hand is a no-no. This hand is caca. This is not a birthday hand. I think this is a birthday hand. The question is, what do we keep? It's tricky. I want to keep these 3 lands. I want to guarantee that I can curve out into these. I also really like Gideon. I think I'm actually going to take out the Legion Lieutenant, as crazy as that may seem. You look at that. I could go for the dress. Turn 1. But I'm not going to. I'm going to drop the 1-drop instead. I can dress next turn, but I'd rather establish damage as early as possible. Plus, you know, he can have 2 mana removal. He can have a Thought Erasure as well. But his big boy plays come in afterwards. So I'm going to attack first before revealing my dress. There it is. So he has Thief Vicinity, and he has Cry of the Carnarium. I really want to get rid of Cry of the Carnarium. For obvious reasons. Alright. I could play Gideon. But I'm going to play Benalia instead. I'm not sure what he's looking to gain from Thief Vicinity versus me. Like, what can he steal that is, like, actually relevant versus me? Like, I have a bunch of vampire cards. I'm not really sure. I want to prioritize Benalia, though, because it puts pressure on him. We just taken out the Cry of the Carnarium as well. That's fantastic. That's completely fine.
Prime day for justice. Share my life.
And we're gonna play Gideon here. I don't have board wipes. I have Soren, which doesn't really do anything for him.
You unfortunate, I have many warriors.
That's not your hand! And he just told me he has a vampire. Oh my god. Well, sir.
I believe in you.
I believe in you. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. That's why don't you play people's sanity against me.
Holland to care.
You're still the worst voice actor ever, Soren. Like, I know you're on my team, and I shouldn't discourage you, but holy shit, I hate Soren's voice actor. To this day, I stand behind the fact, not the opinion, the fact that he has the worst voice acting in the entire MTG arena, like Carpool. I'm sorry. Out of all the Planeswalkers, just fucking suck, man. All right, so we get dunked on against Desperate Control, and we dunk on Drix's Control. So now we're going to try to finish off this birthday video of ours with potentially a matchup that is not against Control. And hopefully I can showcase, you know, the vampires. Because I could just call it a day with these two games, but I feel like I can do better. I can show off this deck a little bit better. I will keep this. Turn 1 Aspirant into turn 2 Lieutenant. The thing about the Legion's Landing is that if I have other plays to go for, I don't really want to drop it off immediately. Because I want to drop the Legion's Landing when I have the Boar State. Is this another Grixis? Are you serious? Alright, it is. Well.
Blood was my beginning, and it will be. Well, I guess you'll do.
I guess you'll do. Alright, Lava Coil number 2. And poor buddy here is mana screwed. We're gonna give a counter to this.
Blood calls to your soul.
And we are going to play all these because we do want to flip the Legion's Landing. We are becoming vulnerable. We are becoming vulnerable to a Cry of the Carnarium if he finds like another land, but that's not a Cry of the Carnarium. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Oh, this is a Reanimator. Ooh. Okay, that's beautiful. I can give this Death Touch.
I bestow a mighty curse.
We can flip the first fort here. And therefore these two trade. And we call that a turn. We're a little bit stacked with Soren here, but we're doing just fine. Because we have literally double the lands our opponent does. Because that's the beauty of Magic the Gathering sometimes. One gets to play, the other doesn't. And today we are not that other. No, sir. 5, 6. Okay, this time we're not gonna fuck it up. Though I missed out on damage. I can already tell you that. Alright. Kamikaze Vampire. Serve your country!
Blood is the light.
Get them! 72 virgins! Alright, here we go. Okay, so... Reanimator. Reanimator. That makes me want to pack in Dress. And that also makes me want to pack in Mortify. We're not going first now, so I will be dropping Vicious Conquistador. I've been packing in Duress every game, but, you know, it's the matches we've been facing, right? Vanguard can still be very relevant. Gideon, Blackblade, I'm not so sure. I can drop one Benalia going second, especially considering we're bringing Mortify. I want to keep Vona for this matchup for sure. That removal can be very, very relevant. I've taken out a couple. I think I can take out another one drop, and I think that's going to be one Sky Marcher Aspirant here. When it comes to another 3-drop, I want to cap Mortify because I want to be able to answer one of the big dudes if they do come out. And I think in its place, I mean, I still really like Gideon in these sorts of matchups. I still really do like Gideon. It may seem weird, but I'm dropping double Benalia for double Mortify. Especially because I'm on the draw, and considering I'm on the draw, I have, like, obviously less momentum because I'm not going first. And I will keep this in. I paid the 2 life there. I mean, I want to lead off with the Knight of the Yvonne Legion here, because next turn I can drop another Knight and the Sky Marcher Aspirant anyways. Okay, so there's a... I think... Should I go for the Duress now? I'm gonna go for the Duress now. Wow, he's super dependent on top decking here. He has double Ritual of Soot. Obviously, if he gets the Bond of Revival, it's over though. But it's also over if we don't manage to. I'm gonna take out the Bond of Revival here. He has to literally like draw into back-to-back lands, which, okay, for now he's doing. But we are as well. And I think I would like to, because I could play Legion Lieutenant here, but I don't think that's clever. I think we're going to go with you.
Gideon Jura, at your service. Your light will cleave the darkness.
And I'm going to attack with this. I could have also attacked with these two first and like offered him a trade there, but this is like the safest way. He literally needs to top deck into back-to-back. Okay. Again, still, these are obviously very powerful against me, but the true power of his card lies in the reanimation, so if we can stop that from happening, I think that's just a better deal overall. And now is when we got to get to work. Now is when we're going to play this, and we're actually going to play that into Sorin. I could Sorin -3, but I actually do not want to flood the board as much.
I drink only the finest, and you smell well aged. This is but a taste of my power. I will lend you my strength.
And now I get the buff there. He could find a land here and go for the Ritual of Soot. Instead, he draws a Thought Erasure. Still fishing for a land, which means we gotta work to finish off this game. So he's playing Grixis Reanimator, which is pretty cool. I wanna run into Soul Time myself though, because I like the idea of playing with Jarek. But you know, props to my opponent. He kept a bit of a greedy hand though, definitely. Most certainly. We could. Okay, so if we clear this, that's 7. This is lethal, right? We boom, boom that. 7, 10, 9. Yeah, he's dead. He's dead, and thankfully for myself, I'm not going to miss lethal there. No reason to do that. GG, buddy. Get emoed for the win. I like that term. Get emoed. All right, happy birthday to me. There we go. We start to face, you know, Teferi and Darset in my birthday. Like, even in my birthday. MTG Arena, what the fuck. But, I showcased a little bit of Vampires here. Not the most, high quality gameplay, though. But we are almost at, we're actually at 50 minutes of recording with this. So, I'm gonna call, you know, the video to an end here. I got a birthday party to attend to. Regardless, hopefully you guys enjoyed some Vampires. Let me know what deck you want to see in the near future. I'm going to be working on a Sultai Reanimator with Jarok next, which I'm very excited for. It'll be kind of like the evolution of Dimir Reanimator, which is, you know, my favorite archetype in Magic the motherfucking Gathering, and we'll be going on from there. I believe I will stream this weekend, perhaps a little bit. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely be back at it on Twitch next week onwards. And yeah, before we actually leave, though, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the new member of my family. I'll be right back. So yeah, I totally teased the hell out of you guys there because Hachiko is not here. My girlfriend is currently walking him. Talk about timing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a photo. I'm pretty sure you won't be able to just show you something. I don't know, because I feel bad otherwise. There you go. It's my new doggo. And, you know, he'll appear in future videos. Hopefully I get the sync going on right. And, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like for daily MTG content, despite the fact that we haven't been completely daily these past few days. Thank you so much for the constant support. And I'll be back at it soon with more. Have a swell day. Fucking love ya. I'll see you around.